Mm, Good morning. Uh, we are continuing when we left off. Uh, yeah, second day. I think I may or not sure yet. It's too early to sure that I'm doing this. I'm thinking that I am dumping all these thoughts to people, not to anyone, just rambling. So I think yesterday I don't like how I turns. So instead I want to make a mouth. Mm, Leave this line for right in the crop. So I'm feeling better today. I've been playing a lot of goalkeeper yesterday and talked to someone about one online telling the story about a certain YouTuber last first was like raiding the MMO with his fans trying to take off uh, make a grand kingdom server like a lot of the old seasoned players, the loud ones feels like, oh no, they are going to dump down the game to be like Minecraft. Oh no, we got all every obnoxious kids around internet and so on. They are blessing him. Some just like ha 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 ha. You want to do what? No, you cannot. Home is a game about hard toil for years. You cannot just go in and think that you will be able to make anything instantly like Minecraft. And what's the cool thing is, uh, some players, it's also they are PvP players. Was saying no, let them in. Uh, let the game itself take over what should be done with them instead us. But no, not what should be done with them. Let them try the game. Most will quit likely, but there will be some that stay find the joy of worm is. And they actually create a group to help this Buzzovers gang. And like they say, that some people, most people doesn't fit with worm because they are like the fans were mostly from Minecraft. Where it's probably predominantly teen and kids on at least on his fans, while Worm is very hard kind of and not a game that you will call fun. It's more like it pays off in the long run. So yeah, most quit, but there are a few that stay, and they stay for a long time. The PvP people that give these fans a chance, where right, and this was amazing. Hmm, so what was I? Oh yeah, yesterday when I got off the video, I took the cat for a walk, and it was already morning 9 a.m. So it's hot. So cat mostly just walk a little, laying around, walk a little, laying around. He doesn't want to move much in the heat in daylight. But he's enjoying himself. He looking at her, and he got this tiny dog that usually doesn't like cats that approach and try to befriend him. But both the owner and himself were making sure that the two animals are on leash. They will not fight. Uh, and talk a lot with that guy. He's asking about cat mostly. Um, I don't know if I feel comfortable that he's asking when I go out to walk with I. Like I have a bad time. Well, I have a hard time recognizing when someone is trying to hit on me, and I do not like getting hit on because suddenly I figure out that I'm asexual aromantic. I don't feel like starting a relationship. I guess my friend said, yeah, you already like that from before, but your fear of pregnancy. I'm just wondering when you're going to pregnancy. Oh yeah, I figured it out. I said, oh, okay. Since I go into the group thing, but like I don't want to be categorized as than just nihilist painter or something. Maybe, maybe not nihilistic enough. So yesterday I also revisit an old idea, like very old, like an idea from my 20s. Like it's a story about a girl that was born half human, half dragon in a time where uh, humans and monsters are against each other. So they are, yeah. And this girl is actually the daughter of the Monster King, and so she's the heir. But like in Monster Kingdom, you have to prove yourself to the leaders of the monster. You have to subjugate, not subjugate. You have to beat them in combat to be able to put yourself the as the new leader to unite them all. So, so I'm thinking this sketch of an elf could be this could be an elf from that story. In in the story, uh, I I envision that there are no animals. Like you got plants, you got fungi, mushrooms. You got humanoids. It's humans, elves, and such like typical high fantasy things. Maybe change it later. And you got instead animals, you got monsters. So the difference is that they are more intellectual than your basic animal. They are not docile. Even the sheep is dangerous, so to say. Just like this elk is probably going to eat you. Well, not all monsters going to eat you. It's like there are some that wood sprite or something that is not dangerous. Still, still they are part of the monsters. Monsters, and like the humankind wanted to wanted to bring this monster into submissions. They want to harvest them for meat, for wounds, for leathers, and so on. They don't want to have to be in constant danger when they are trying to harvest these creatures. Right? Right? Just like in the real world, you want to have meat, but you don't want the danger of having to wrestle lion or something. Like, yeah, and and that's so the monster doesn't like that, of course, and some that can think a lot, can organize, some that can organize among themselves, that goes to war with the humanoids, and it is a costly war on both sides and on the nature itself. It's war always ugly, and then and the monster is mostly winning. And then one day appear a dragon. The dragons are actually monsters, but they refuse to be classified with what they consider a bunch of low intelligent lesser beings. So dragons consider themselves dragons. So there was this one dragon suddenly appear, and with the power of the he got from other dragons, he he conquered the monsters. He became the first monster king, and he stopped the war. There was a truce, sort of. Not fully stopped. I mean, if people go to attack monsters, the monster attack back. But there is no full blown uh, village cities destroying stampede of monsters ruining the humanoids. So yeah, until until it was discovered that the the monster king conceived have a baby, and this have a child, a doctor, and this doctor is half monster, half human. So there was a riot, and the it was supposedly not happening because the Monster King makes sure all the monster leaders are under him. It's also that he have a very nice fortress and all. It's like a king would, and but then the rebellion breached into the castle, and he knows that his time is up. He has to face them, and he while he maybe he's likely confident he would win or maybe not, he knows that he have to prepare for a plan to save his daughter. So he locked her memories, her childhood memories being in the castle and such. The language she learns, the language of monster and such. Uh, lock her form into the one that is of a human. Brainwash a human woman to be this child's mother, and then send her to the human village as if she is just a normal human baby. Well, not baby. I think it's maybe a child, 7 years old, maybe 10 years old when this happens. I hasn't decided yet, but I think she will have at least some recognition of the palace fortress when she eventually go there. And she's put there to live happily while the Monster King also told his trusted advisor that he should use her he should guide when the time is right. He should guide this child of him to become the new monster king or queen. Yeah, to be the new monster queen, and that he shall be he shall be immortal until that day came. Then he can at last rest. Kelvin is, I don't think he's a human, but he looks humanoid. Maybe I should think that he actually has a monster form, or maybe he's a kind of a giant race or something that is not considered a human, but human enough to blend in, like maybe a species of giant. Maybe this giant species already extinct, so he's the last of his kind taken care by the Monster King or being found, told to serve maybe. I haven't looked at how I can how what kind of background Kelvin this bodyguard artist of Kelvin have, but he's going to be pain in the ass for our lady because he is very rigid and he thinks the Monster King is a benevolent god that cannot be wrong. So the start of if the even take like many years later when the child had come to age and she her she been just living with her mother in the outskirts of the village because people humans doesn't like her. They say it's probably because her hair is weird color. It's red and yellow, but the real cause is that because she's still part of monster, there is something in her that make people feels like uncomfortable. See, maybe it's like there's some saying that when you are near a predator, like a lion, you will feel at least deep down in the subconscious that you feel afraid. I'm thinking something like that. She make them nervous on edge, so they don't like her. They they shun her, they bully her, so on. It's mostly shun. It's not even bully. It's sometimes, especially when you are young, it's a lot more painful to find out that no one no one would care about you, that everyone going to stay away from you, then say if you get bullied because well I'm not really expert on this or anything, but I'm just thinking that if you got bullied, you know that they they are they're thinking about you. They are paying attention. But if you're ignored, you live in the world alone. Well, I don't. I apologize. I should not compare between the two, but just saying that that's what Karen been. Yeah, she mostly alone. She mostly ignored unless she tries to fit in. Unless she tries to to make friends and such, then she's going to be bullied by kids, by adults. They don't like her playing with their kids. Some little children may be more tolerating about her, but the adults say no, no, don't go near him, don't go near her. You cannot. I'm not allowing you to go near my children. Something like that. You creep, probably a witch. And they're right. Yes, she's a fairy. When her power is at last unlocked, she's a very powerful monster. And I guess depends. You sometimes want to befriend such a powerful figure. You sometimes just want to make sure to stay away and don't piss them off. So sometime after her coming of age, some army came and attacked the village. And she's like, oh no, she just wake up and like, what, what, where's his mother? She's going to look for her mother. But then Calvin came from out of nowhere and teleport her away, far, far away. And she's mad at him, of course. And this the thing. Calvin is not a sympathetic person, at least not yet. He actually says, what he says is actually more like, she's not your mother, she's not really your mother, it's just some lonely human being brainwashed to take care of you, so you should not care about her. And so they did start their relationship on short note, but Karen cannot do anything to her kidnapper for now. He is fully armored. He's having some menacing weapon, maybe sword, maybe something else, maybe a lance, so that's like a dragon lancer. That he's actually a dragon lancer. That he actually in wars he rides on her father's back. Yeah, that sounds good, I think. So yeah, he he bring her into a journey like D&D journey, like an RPG journey that she doesn't want, but she have to because he got the menacing weapon. He's the kidnapper, and she keep saying, it is being annoying that saying that, oh yeah, how typical, you kidnap a young woman. What are you going to do with me? Are you going to force your way? And so on. And so to solve this, Calvin reluctantly invite at least another adventurer to join me. It's not actually adventure, so they met this thief Elcat that tries to rob them, but they beat him, and then Calvin forced him to join them. Well, not entirely forced, but he say, well, if you run, you don't have a choice. If you run now, I will cut your legs. No, cut your hands, and or you can join us. And when this queen rightfully take what is hers, you will be rainbows with rich beyond your dream. And it worked. The thief named Elcat joined them, and he will be a voice that is a voice of reason and weakness. Like Calvin is very, very traditional, and he thinks that the world revolves around honor, that humans, nobles, are trustable. while Alcott bring in the reality that the nobles are very corrupt, that people given power will become corrupt and no longer care about those beneath them unless it's aligned with their greed. Alcott sometimes joke that he's going to be the moral compass for this new queen to make sure that she is she goes for the people unless he forget. Well, he probably more like he doesn't know at first that she is going to be the monster queen. Monsters works differently with humans compared to humans. They are more raw. They are more of instincts than they can talk, they can think, some can write and read, but they are more base primal compared to humans. So in any case of a debate, the debate may be more like a wrestling than shouting your saliva to the other person. And their need is a lot more less complicated because they are monsters and they feel pride of handling things either themselves and with their own lives. They do not think they do not think life as complicated as humans. They think making scientific progress. I think most of them think that scientific progress is unnecessary, that the world, nature, have provided them with everything. Why bother on making things when you have claws and teeth and magic? Right? So it will be different on living monsters than humans. And at first, Elka doesn't know this. And when he knows it and that Karen is not a human, his confidence with the party dwindled, and at certain point, he betrayed them for rich, for no, not just rich. The king of humans, promised him a place in the castle that he will gain wealth and become a noble. Nobles that he actually despised because they keep their rich to themselves and so on. But as he betrayed the party, the king also betrayed him. But what is this meager? thief, wanting to be something when it's not his birthright, and all he can do was stealing and tricking others to get it. The thief, or a thief like this, should not be given fortune. He should be given punishment. So Karen captured, Kelvin captured, and Elcott, the thief Elcott, is also captured. And then society. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not thinking yet how this capture goes and such, but I have inspiration from Final Fantasy VII when you are in the lab trying to find Ares, and I think Karen will be a subject for scientific testing. She actually a lab born. She's not. Yeah, she is a lab born made by these humans. A research subject that's supposedly to be returned to them after the Monster King used him for something for the humans' benefit. But it didn't happen because the rebellion, and when they realized that the Monster King lost, extracting Karen from wherever she was held was a risky undertaking, so they just okay. So she will emerge out one day at her height, and we'll see how in the long run this test subject goes. It will be interesting. And in this jail, the party start the mainly Calvin start to be given how 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 the nobility have fallen so much, and how the kingdom was planning to subjugate our monsters using a certain type of disease, I guess, virus that makes the monster docile and reduce their intellectual capacity, so make them dumb. That they have some success on certain species that make them able to just certain species, like they turn cockatrice into ordinary egg laying chickens. They turn some woolly mammals with menacing horns into sheep, and so on. They don't really change the biology, the form of the monster, but the form of monster kind of reflect the soul of them when they are born. So the next generation of these docile monsters become less and less and less menacing, less teeth, less horns, less everything that make them able to defend themselves. I think at one point it's like even they are even less dangerous than our own known chickens. Like maybe they are rubber chickens. Like maybe their feet will not have those sharp claws. Their beaks will not be that will be dull. They will not be dangerous to humans at all. And humans can do whatever with them, harvest them, bring on the new era of industry. You can see how these stories work, power fantasy of mine, like story of monster, monster that, and story about how I may look at society of people and think that how the I guess the Warsaw. I don't know. I try to avoid politics and all the real life fights and such because my viewpoints sometimes are just either weird or I am unable to convey my message well, that it's not helpful for whatever cause it is. Hmm. So I guess a fiction that is not even applicable to our real world issue might have been a better outlet for me to convey what I've been thinking, to say what I'm trying to say. After well, well, in a way, that's what art is. It's it's about telling something. I guess no, not all art is for making a message, but I don't know what I'm rambling. But this elk is almost finished, and I think it will fit well with the story that I just said. No animals, only monsters. Here is a beast that is deadly, but the hide and the antler is so valuable. There's the irony though. The the king wanted domestication of the monsters. The nobles back it up because they feel like, oh, they're going to get rich of this. But actually, the king is a lot more wiser than that. He knows that when these creatures no longer hard to harvest, when they can just put a slaughterhouse for hundreds of them, that overall prosperity of his people will increase. That while he does going to make the noble rich and more rich, he also going to uplift the rest of humanity, of the humankind, to be able to have more prosper era, an era of no shortage of food, no shortage of clothing, and more. Yeah, he's not evil. He's not, at least he's not in his mind, he's not evil. And let's face it, in a lot of games and medias, the monsters are evil even if what they're doing is just defending themselves from you. They just protecting their territory than you, against the player. Right? But we still call them monsters. So, King is not that bad. It's just a typical person thinking about the survival and the prosperity of the species, of his species. And I guess in a way, by him doing this, he also makes sure that the monster that the domesticated will not die off before their time to be harvested. It's a win-win. At least from his standpoint, he just bring civilization to the monsters, but put them in a position of being subjugated because they are in him and humans' mind are inferior. And he could debate that let's face all creatures think the other creatures are inferior until you find something that you cannot even comprehend, that you cannot even defeat. Then you call those creatures gods. But deep in one's mind, there are always these thoughts of, oh, I have to be like that, like God thing. Or I have to buddy it up. Or like, I'm rambling again. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Yeah, he's just going to say, well, the only thing that the creature considers superior is gods. Yeah, that will do. That will certainly do. I think I want to give this some color. Just some basic color, nothing much. Then we can go white. Ooh. Why it's disappear? Okay. See, I have to do it like this. It's watercolor. So yeah, what do you think of the story? Would it work? Could someone, could some people relate to this idea of being so different that you are basically a monster, even among monsters? That it's a typical adventuring like uh, tabletop game, but like a D&D or maybe a Western style computer RPG, but you are not a hero. In fact, you are the monster. You are the feline by birthright, and there's no reason to be to be con to to look at things at the lens of the human's morals, because it doesn't work for the culture of these monsters. Just doesn't work. Although in the end, Karen being was a creature of both sides will have to and will learn to be herself, not in the shadow of her father that makes a lot of sins. in the for the monsters because he kind of the reasons that the humans can figure out how to dominate the monster and make them dumb. That she is herself, whatever her birthright, with her birthright, still with her birthright, but she is herself. She is to rule, she will rule with what her own thoughts, not pulled by all these many people that want to influence her, control her, so on. Not even the monsters. She will learn by her own definition what it is, what it means to be a hybrid and to be the monster queen. She will solve the conflict between humans and monsters, but it, it's it's likely that she will also demolish the kingdom that made her, not to hide who she is, but to stop their research, to bury what they found, to punish them for what they did, for her to enrage as a monster who enraged. She will not be apologetic. The king tried to make her feel sorry for what the monsters did. No, it's not. Monsters are not humans. They have their own things. They cannot be judged by human stuff because human stuff did not matter for them. It's not their culture, so to say. She will find a way to solve the conflict. Maybe she will divide the world into two. Maybe she will return the situation back to the beginning. Maybe she cannot, more likely she cannot do anything with the monster that already made docile and take the rest of the monsters somewhere else or make their own haven where humans will not be able to touch them or screw with them. Maybe monsters have to stay to make sure that to guard the nature, to make sure that the humanoids did not turn everything into commodities, into things they harvest and throw away. Yeah, that sounds like more of something that she will, the monster will be the fierce guardians of lands that humans shall not trespass. They actually doesn't mind. Well, we actually think it's part of life. If a human hunter, human warrior, kill them in combat, kill some monster in combat. It's more like the subjugation or extinction of species. They are warrior. Well, they're not even warrior. It's more like something. It's something that will enrage them. Yeah. Yes. Really bad one. It's 6 a.m. and I already drink coffee and take a shower. I had decent sleep, but now I'm sleepy again. Yay! This is almost done. I think it's done. Uh, This is the help. You can do this yours right. You dry it, you can put more color in it. Yeah, see, more color. Yeah. Yep. Well, that's all for today, and I think I'm done with this elk. Ken, thank you for my patrons on Patreon: Alberni, Salt Grey, Antonio Lester, Kenneth Nelson, and Feather Blade. I thank T so much for the support of me and my cat's lifeline. Mm, and if anyone want to join, maybe one day I feel shy of this series on Patreon only, something like maybe cancel culture attack. You could check my Patreon. Link is in the description. Bye bye.